Okay, so let me start sharing the link again. Hear me now? I hope you can all hear me. Let me share. Uh, okay, so I was okay. Let me start asking the questions again. So you can either drop a yes in the chat or you can raise your hand. So raise your hand or drop a yes if you have been told you are too emotional. Okay. Okay. Next question. Have you ever been told to man up, grow up, or just get over it? Have you ever heard any of these three things? Somebody will tell you just man up or grow up or just get over it. Okay. Next question. Have you ever felt your body react before your mind? So maybe in a scenario where you were triggered emotionally and you felt tension somewhere in your body before your brain could say, okay, yes, this is what we're feeling and this is why we're feeling it. It can be platonic, it can be romantic, it can be great. So about who is speaking. First of all, I am not a therapist. Okay, I am someone who learned things with you tonight. Everybody calls me Jojo. I am the founder of the People Code and Dinner Enterprises. I am an entrepreneur, oldest of five, and proudly faith led. And I am built from hard lessons, not textbooks. So, if anybody asks what gives me the authority to speak about emotional intelligence, my response would be everything I survived and chose to understand gives me the authority to speak on this. Does that make sense? Okay. Great. Great. Okay. So this um is or this was me. How many of you here in the chats knew me when I was as slim as a Victoria Secret model? I I carried so much fear on the inside. I struggled with a lot of things, and that I knew these were feeding my soul. Um, I I had just my room, and I asked myself, what is in me that attracts this kind of pain over and over again? Me that is attracting those those energies in different bodies and in different spaces. So I decided to do the work. Whenever I get triggered emotionally, my chest becomes very tight. I can't move, I can't breathe. I have to like stay still so that the tension in my chest can be released. Then I can think properly. So I had to learn how to self regulate. Does that make sense so far? Okay. Like, who's this pretty girl? Like, see my cheeks compared to her. So whenever I look at my old pictures, I can recognize pain. I can see so much pain that I was carrying. I could see, or I can see um, a girl who was always afraid, a girl who lacked confidence, a girl who never felt good enough, a girl who always wanted to people please. But this version of me now, who who has healed to a very beautiful extent, is no longer waiting for external validation. have a tight knit circle, like my mom, my partner. I'll go to like my mom, my sister, and I would ask, "What do you think?" So that they can validate the idea. But if the healed part of me knew that you're no longer in that space of waiting to be validated or waiting to have an idea of yours validated. You are confident and strong enough and at peace enough to validate your own ideas, to validate your own self. Does that make sense? Okay. So after I did the work, genuinely, I stopped attracting the same pain. Remember, I said initially that I was always attracting the same pain, but in different people and in different spaces. It was the exact same thing. I also learned to read my body and understand that, okay, this is why I feel triggered with it, so that I don't attach the now to the trigger. Then I also would heal. And there were so many triggers, or yeah, there were so many triggers that I healed from, and I'm more confident now to face any triggers. You know, my my dad used to train us on martial arts. I told him that I hurt myself. Then he held my hands and he looked at me and he said, "Don't run from the pain. Run to the pain and deal with it." So I had this regulate. I was always like I said, I was always afraid and I didn't know how to self-regulate. So I find myself running. When there's a hard thing, I would look for an excuse to leave that space. Does that make sense so far? Then I also stopped giving from emptiness. I have on the inside of me, which is peace. Peace is not something that that happens to you. Does that make sense so far? Okay, awesome. So these are just a few things I wrote down from my own experiences. These are the costs of staying unregulated. So the very first one is you overreact to small things and you underreact to big things. Does that make sense? You attract and accept what is familiar, not what you deserve. I learned over time that what you deserve is always new. but the we humans are naturally inclined to relating with what we know. Change is scary, right? So we would rather accept what we know than what we deserve. Does that make sense? The next one, you give from your wound instead of your wholeness. You are already exhausted. Like there is no end to it. You just keep going. It's a cycle. You confuse intensity for intimacy and mistake control for care. You stay in painful relationships because pain feels normal. Pain feels like like home. I remember I was at a point in my life where I was, but I remember saying to myself that I, you end up in the same place with different people. It's not your fault. It's just you are not yet regulated enough to change all these things here. And the truth is the risk is not just more bad relationships, right? It is a life lived at the mercy. Does that make sense so far? Okay. We were never taught how to feel. We were only taught how to perform, how to suppress, how to survive. So a lot of people now are living in survival mode. A lot of people are suppressing every single day because they see emotions as weakness. A lot of people are performing, So the truth is, the emotions you suppress or remove from your brain, it did not disappear. This is the the picture that I have in my mind when I hear the word suppress, right? Is to push something down or push it away. If you're pushing something like a memory or something from your mind, where it goes is your body, your patterns, all the things you've suppressed, all the things you 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 have not faced, all the things that you have not faced that are putting you in survival mode. Every single thing is being stored in your body. It's no longer in your mind, it is now in your body. It's in our patterns. It's in the people we keep choosing. Suppressed emotions are also stored in the way we stay too long or leave too fast. The picture I have, when I wrote these things, when someone stays too long, there's this mindset of I can change the person, or this mindset of I know that this is toxic for me. So instead of me leaving and looking like a disloyal person or looking like a bad person, let me just stay. And then leaving too fast, you are leaving what you are unfamiliar with. If you're used to pain and you enter a space where there's peace, it feels strange, it feels weird, it feels fake because you've been performing all your life. Does that make sense? It's about understanding what you have been feeling and why. So remember, I said that this webinar is going to be interactive. So I'm going to ask a question. Has anyone here been told that or that emotions that having emotions mean you are weak? Or feeling emotional denotes weakness? Okay, interesting about the human body. But before we get into this, right, remember I said that whatever emotions you do not face, whatever emotions you suppress, whatever emotions you you push away from your mind, it goes into your body. And I'll use myself as a proof of that. So let me go back to my before picture. In this part of my life, right, I tried everything I knew to gain weight. I tried herbs. I tried the banana with peanut butter and what's the other one? Oats and all those things. I tried it, didn't work. Then I thought it was a medical condition. So I went to the hospital and then the doctor prescribed what's the name of ciproheptadine, whatever. So I went home and I started taking the meds. She said I was supposed to take it for 2 weeks, at least 10 days. So I started taking the meds, and after 5 days, I gained weight. But the strange thing was, I gained weight too, good and fine, but I couldn't carry myself. I remember there was one time I was like trying to apply lotion and I was like I was panting as though I ran a mile. I'm just trying to put on lotion. Like, So I tried to gain weight, but it wasn't working. And at that point, when I, you know, saw the weight that I had gained, I was satisfied with it. And then I decided, okay, let me just stop taking the medicines. I've reached my desired weight goal. All I'll just be doing is eating, more. And if you know me before, I like food. So uh the day I stopped taking the meds, I see, I lie not. I lost weight drastically. Then the next day, I was thinner than I was before I started taking those meds. So fast forward to now, the way I look now. A lot of people have been asking me what what did I take and all that. I didn't take anything. I didn't take any meds or I didn't take anything. Now let me explain to you why that was happening. Remember I said that your emotions are pushed into your body, right? My nervous system was reading the weight of my emotions as bodily weight. Does that make sense? Your brain does not know what reality is. So I was trying to gain weight in flesh, but my body, my nervous system was reading the weight the emotional weight as weight already. And it was confused, like, there's already weight. You've already gained weight. What more do you want to add? Does that make sense? So when I understood that my nervous system was clogged, I had to detoxify myself. Detoxification is not just externally, right? It's not just drinking green juices or eating green salads and all that. You can also detoxify emotionally. When I finally detoxified emotionally, I was now able to gain weight in my flesh that people can, see. So, um, somatic, the somatic memory is where your body stores what your mind tried to move past. That's what it's called. The somatic memory is in your body. It's not in your mind. Okay? So these are the different parts of your somatic memories. Your somatic memory, beg your pardon. Your jaw, your throat, your chest, your shoulders, your stomach, and your pelvis. So when you are triggered emotionally, your body will always give you a signal. Always. So it's not that your body is betraying you. Your body is actually trying to protect you. Okay? So when you feel tension in your jaw, your jaw starts clenching. It means that you have you are carrying suppressed anger and words you never said. When you feel tension in your throat, it means a truth you swallowed or an identity you hid. Then chest tightness, this is the one that I am most familiar with. Chest tightness just simply means grief, fear, or heartbreak. If you were here earlier, I know that I mentioned that in my before picture, I was always afraid. I was always afraid. I was grieving, not like the loss of a person physically, but grieving moments, in in time or in history. I had experienced heartbreak over time. If you feel tension in your shoulders, like your shoulders feel heavy, it simply means that you're carrying too much. If you feel knots in your stomach, it translates to anxiety, dread, and people pleasing under pressure. If you feel tension in your pelvis, it means deep shame, insecurity, or violated safety. So, has anyone ever heard about any of these things that I just mentioned? And can anyone relate to any of these things? So remember, if you have any questions, you can just write them down, and then at the end of the webinar, I will definitely answer your questions. So let's keep going. So I'm going to I need us to do this exercise together if you can, if you're comfortable enough. So I need you to find a place and just relax, sit down, and close your eyes if you feel comfortable, and just listen to the sound of my voice. And I want you to take one overwhelmed word. Now I want you to scan your okay. Can you hear me at the stage? Okay. All right. Okay. So, if you did this exercise right now, remember I said you should take note of where you felt tension in your body. Is it your chest? Is it your throat? Is it your shoulders? Is it your stomach? Is it your pelvic area? Is it your jaw? So just take notes of it. And then if you wish, you can share it in the chats. Okay. So if you've been following me and like, reading some of my posts when I was talking about the webinar, I said I was going to share one tool of one regulation tool that has helped me over time. So it's a breathing technique. I call it 4-4-4-4. So it's very simple, right? So you inhale 4 counts. So for those of you who felt tension in your chest, this is what I want you to do, right? I need you to sit down, place one hand on your chest and one hand um, on your stomach. Then I need you to inhale and count 1 to 4 in your head. So inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you hold it for 8 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then you exhale with 4 counts or for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you repeat this 3 times. This has really helped me. It seems simple, but in the moment where you need it, this simple tool would be the best calming solution for that moment. So this particular exercise is for the people who felt okay. Okay, I hope the network is good now. Okay, okay. Okay. So this particular technique, like I said, is for the people who feel tension in their chest when they feel emotionally triggered. So this is the the pause between stimulus and choice. My mom used to say, before you do anything, make sure you breathe, especially when it's a tense moment. Does that make sense? So I have a simple assignment for you. Use this simple breathing technique this week or whenever you feel triggered and take note of what changes. Okay? Now, this is the simple overlooked truth about growth. Self awareness does not come from intelligence, it comes from humility. I had to humble myself to come to the point of realization that All right, so when I did the inner work, I stopped attracting the same pain. And it wasn't because the people changed, it was because I did. Now, this is the relationship clarity framework, and I feel like this is one of the most important parts of this webinar for me. And I believe it's going to help everyone here. So, I created this relationship clarity framework because I was tired of tagging everyone as bad, number one, and then not understanding what a relationship actually is like, properly auditing every single relationship. So it doesn't have to be only romantic, can be any kinds of relationships. So level one, these people are bad at relationships, but they're not bad as a person, right? These are the ones that they have the capacity to be great friends or great partners. But they they don't they don't have the tools, and these are the ones the most. Does that make sense? Then level two, bad foundation. So this particular relationship is built on proximity or shared pain, but not shared values. So proximity in, let me use a practical sense. Let's say in the same office, in the same space, you know, and then shared pain. You both experienced the same kind of relationship, the same kind of experience. So because of the similarities in the experience, you build a relationship or a friendship from that, not because you both have or share the same values. For this particular relationship, right, especially in proximity, every human being will find themselves in spaces. My suggestion or advice would be this: when you find yourself in a space, of course, you have to relate with people, but you need to be intentional about your why. Why do I want to get close to this person? Is it because we're in the same space? Is it because we're doing the same thing? Like, for example, you are in an engineering company, and there's a group of elite engineers. Like, these guys are always getting the big jobs and all that, and you're also a part of the elite group, but you're not, within yourself that you're not as good as some of them, so you decide to relate with one person. It reminds me of something that our parents used to say when we're younger: if there's any smart person in your class, become close to them. And being an adult now, I don't think they meant expose yourself emotionally. Being close to them is to learn what they know and how they know what they know. So, in this particular level, you need to be clear on your why. Why do I want to create a relationship with this person? I hope that makes sense. Then, level three, bad for you specifically. So, this person, in fact, both of you or all of you are more comfortable, or you guys thrive with other people. But when you people are in the same space, you trigger each other. You both hurt each other, you both make each other angry, right? It's not that the person is bad, the person is just bad for you specifically, or it's not that you're bad, it's just that you're bad for that person specifically. So, this level of relationship requires the most self honesty. Like, you have to come to terms with the fact that I am the problem. Also, this relationship is not working. We both keep hurting ourselves. We bring out the worst in each other. So the safest thing for both of you to do, or for all of you to do, is to just give yourselves space and stop exposing yourselves, as deep as that. And then the final level, genuinely destructive. These ones are consistent, deliberate, and repeated. The people in this category, they're the ones who have gone through pain, right? For example, maybe they're going through a hard time, and the people around them, or the person around them, is not experiencing the same kind of pain. So they will want to inflict that pain on the person, either verbally or physically. So this particular level of relationship reminds me of the narcissist and the empath. People who are natural empaths will always unconsciously attract narcissists. I don't know why that happens, but it always happens. When an empath meets a narcissist, narcissistic people are they are the ones who enjoy it when you, oh dear god, when you complain, and then they would apologize, and then you would now cave. Then when they see that, oh, okay, you are quick to forgive, then they keep doing it over and over and over and over again. So instead of stressing yourself emotionally and staying in that space, just call it what it is and leave. You don't have to tag the person as bad. Just leave. Okay? So it was this distinction that changed everything for me. There are no bad people, but there are people who are bad for your peace, bad for your growth, and bad for the version of yourself you're trying to become. So when I understood this, I stopped tagging every human being that hurt me as a bad person. It just made me know that there are different people for different things. And I'm not for everybody, everybody's not for me. Does that make sense? So peace is a practice. This is something I do every day. Peace is not the absence of conflict, it is something you protect. And these four skills are the things that I practice every single day. They are learnable, they're buildable, and they're practicable. Where was I? Okay, so grace, forgiveness, comprehension, and articulation. So grace is just simply knowing that you're dealing with humans. People will always be humans, but does not mean that you would lower your standards. Okay? People will always be human. You can have expectations, right? It's fine. But when their actions don't meet your expectations, it doesn't mean that you would decide, okay, I'm going to give up on humans. No, not everybody is like you. So give people room to be human. There's a saying, to err is human, to forgive is divine. The next skill, forgiveness. Forgiveness is about you, it's not about the person. I had to learn this at a very young age. The next skill, comprehension. Comprehension is choosing to understand before you act. All my life, I've been hearing communication is key, communication is key, communication is key. At some point, whomever that is communicating would become a nag, because the person that is receiving the information that is being communicated is not comprehending what the person is saying. So the person communicating will keep talking about the same thing over and over and over and over again. Does that make sense? Then the last skill, articulation. Saying the true thing clearly, not just the loud thing quickly. When you can fully articulate your words, you will speak clearly. Does that make sense? So when you give people room to be human, it's easy for you to forgive. Then you can comprehend why that action was done. Then you can clearly articulate why you felt what you felt to the person that, did the act. I hope it makes sense so far. Okay. So the gift that I'm giving you tonight, that I said I was going to give, is a tool that, if I had it a long time ago, I know it would have saved me the stress of sifting people and, relationships. So I call it the 5 people audit. This particular tool would ask you questions like, how do I feel after spending time with them? Is this relationship balanced? What truth have I been avoiding? Which of the 4 levels is this relationship? Remember the 4 levels that I mentioned. Level 1, bad at relationships, not bad as a person. Level 2, bad foundation. Level 3, bad for you specifically. Level 4, genuinely destructive. So this free tool that I'm sharing tonight after the webinar will help you. So please use this tool, because I know that this is something I needed years ago, and I know that it's going to work for you. It's going to help you gain a level of clarity. Okay, so we have come to the end of the slides, not the webinar. So if you have any questions for me, please go ahead and ask. I'll just take questions in the next 2-3 minutes, so that I can just get off. Any questions? Okay. Okay. All right. So oh, okay. Please go ahead and ask. Ask your question. Um, could you please phrase your question? Do you think it's men or okay? I don't want to assume your question. So, can you please this in this world they have tagged men as um um you cannot or they've put men in this box. You are not allowed to show any form of weakness. You're not allowed to be emotional. They've tagged emotions as weakness. They've tagged emotions as it's a woman's thing. But it's okay to feel what you feel. It's also okay to um there's a there's a way my mom used to put it. When you understand how you feel, there's there's a way that's like she put it, but I can't remember. But the most important thing is everyone is entitled to their emotions. I don't think any human being is too emotional. What I know is they're just unregulated. So the most important thing for you to do is when you feel triggered emotionally, you need to understand where in your somatic memory you feel the trigger. And then you you use the tools to self-regulate. Okay. And then she says, live beyond the feelings. When you understand what you're feeling, it is important for you to be in control so that your emotions don't control you. So I hope I answered the question. Okay. All right. So in the absence of any more questions, I will take a bow. Thank you all so much once again for joining this live. I really hope that you pick something from it. I really hope that you learned something. And if you're part of the group, I will send in um, the free the free tool that I created. So thank you all once again. Have a beautiful night's rest.